Hi, so this is your polynomial division practice. I hope that you tried some of these, and then you're going to watch this video and make corrections to your own paper. So first thing you want to do is figure out what number would make this 0. So that would be -2 is going to go in the little box off to the side. And then you're going to make sure that your exponents are in descending order. So this goes 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So we're good. We're going to just take all of the coefficients. This one's a 1, 3, -2, 1, -1. Draw our line. Now you can't start until you bring down the first number, and then you just multiply, add until you get to the end. So -2 times 1 is -2. Add the column, you get 1. -2 times 1 is -2. Add, you get -4. -2 times -4 is 8. Add, you get 9. -2 times 9 is -18. Add, you get -19. And then when you put the x's back in, you always start with 1 less. So we had an x to the fourth, take 2. We had an x to the 4th, and you're dividing out an x. So that's why it goes down 1 degree. So we're going to have 1x to the 3rd plus 1x squared minus 4x plus 9. And then what I always do is I always add on the remainder. Just for the sake of consistency, I just always make that plus, and then it's this number over your divisor, x plus 2. And then that is your answer. So we're just going to try that again for the next one. So the number that would make this 0 would be -1/2. And then again, we're going to make sure our exponents are in descending order. I can see I'm missing an x to the 3rd. So I'll have 4 and then no x to the 3rds, and then 5, -5, 4. And we're going to do the same thing. So bring down the first number, multiply, you would get -2, add, you get -2. Multiply, you get +1, add, you get 6. Multiply, you get -3, add, you get -8. Multiply, you get 4, you get 8. Now, whenever you have one of these ones that had a fraction over here, except for the remainder, it doesn't matter what that is, that's like the leftover number, that's going to stay. When you have this fraction, you have to reduce these numbers. In this case, we're going to divide by 2 since this was a half. If this was a third, we would divide by 3. But it's just like reducing a fraction. You're just going to reduce all these numbers. So it's going to be 2, -1, 3, -4. Again, the remainder doesn't count. You just leave that. I'm going to kind of write this off to the side so I don't run into this problem. We're going to start with x to the 3rd. So it's 2x to the 3rd minus 1x squared plus 3x minus 4. And then your remainder number goes over your divisor, which is the 2x plus 1. So if you have that fraction over there, you just need to remember to reduce all of those numbers. That's all. Just make the numbers smaller. This one is long division. It's already set up for you. What you do is you compare the first two. So I want to turn an x squared into an x to the 5th. The way I would do that is with an x to the 3rd. And then what I'm going to do is distribute that x to the 3rd through here, and everything will line up real nice and perfect underneath here. So if I distribute that, I'm going to get x to the 5th minus 2x to the 4th plus 5x to the 3rd. You give that a hug and you subtract it. So parentheses and subtract. Now, every single time, this first term should cancel out. That's kind of the whole point. So this is 2 minus -2. So that is going to be 4x to the 4th. And then this is -2 minus 5. So that's going to be minus 7x to the 3rd. You bring down the next term, and then you do it all over again. So we're just going to repeat that process. It is cyclic. It just keeps on going. So you compare the first two. I want to turn an x squared into a 4x to the 4th. So I would do that with a 4x squared. I'm going to take that 4x squared and distribute it through here. So we're distributing that to each term. It's going to line up real nice. So it'll be 4x to the 4th minus 8x to the 3rd, and then plus 20x squared. Give it a hug and subtract it. Again, the first term is going to go away. This is -7. It's going to be plus 8 minus a -8. So 1x to the 3rd. This is 15 minus 20, so -5x squared. I'm going to bring down the 0x. I'm going to do it all over again. So I have an x squared. I want it to be an x to the 3rd. That's a simple one. We'll just multiply by x. I'm going to distribute an x through here. That'll be x to the third minus 2x squared plus 5x. Again, just distributing the x to all three of those. Give it a hug, subtract it. First term cancels. This is -5 minus -2. So it's -5 plus 2. So -3x squared. This is 0 minus 5. So -5x. I'm going to bring down the -9. Last time, after we do this one, it'll be the remainder. I need to turn an x squared into a -3x squared. So I'll do that with a -3. Going to distribute the -3 through there. So -3x squared plus 6x minus 15. Now again, whatever this comes out to is going to be our remainder. It will be -11x and -5 minus 6. And then it's -9 minus negative, so plus 15. So it'll be plus 6. So no matter what with the remainder, just put a plus. It's going to be this, what you ended up with, over the divisor. So the x squared minus 2x plus 5. And then this is all your answer. All right, so on the back, this one we can do synthetic division. I'm going to decide what makes this 0, which is 2. And then we're going to see if everything's in order. I can see I'm missing an x to the 4th. I think everything else is in order though. 3, 2, 1, 0. So we have 1x to the 5th, no x to the 4th, -2x to the 3rd, 1x squared, -7x, and then a 2. You bring down the first number, multiply, add until you get to the end. So that's going to be 2, add, you get 2. 2 times 2 is 4, add, you get 2. 2 times 2 is 4, add, you get 5. I'm going to stop saying this because I feel like that gets annoying real quick. And then when I go put the x's back in, you're going to start with 1 degree less. And then your remainder, you just put over the divisor. And that's your answer. All right, and then we've got one more long division. So I want to turn an x squared into an x to the 4th. That would be with an x squared, and I'm going to take that and distribute it through here. So subtract the whole thing. This is going to cancel. This will give us -6x to the 3rd. Now this is 2 plus 1x squared. So plus 3x squared. We're going to bring down the x, do it all over again. So compare the first ones. To turn an x squared into a -6x cubed, that would be a -6x. Distribute -6x through here. This is 3 plus 18, so that's going to be 21x squared. This is 1x minus 6x, so -5x. I'm going to bring down the plus 1 more time. I will need to multiply by a 21. These numbers might get kind of big here. Distributing a 21 through there is going to be 21x squared plus, what is that, 63x minus 21. Now, whatever this comes out to doesn't really matter because it's our remainder, so it doesn't matter if these numbers are kind of gigantic. It's -5 minus 63, so -68x, and this is 1 plus 21. It's minus -21, so plus 22. Again, that really doesn't matter, though. We don't have to do anything with that. You're just going to tack it on at the end. And then put it over the divisor. And then this is all your answer.